Okay, so I've been watching trailers for Wonder Woman and the Justice League movie that comes out towards the end of the year, and I have to say I'm pretty optimistic about the future of the DCEU. It hasn't had that great a track record so far. With Man of Steel, I had mixed feelings about. I don't think they depicted Superman very well. There is some awesome stuff in that movie, at least awesome stuff to look at and to watch. Didn't like how they handled the character all that well. Personality seems kind of on point, but the backstory and for him and just the way they handled it is just kind of off. Same thing with Batman versus Superman. The way they handled Superman in particular, and all the other characters from the Superman mythos, like maybe Lois Lane and Perry White did okay, but Lex Luthor and Jimmy Olsen in Batman vs. Superman, they're just way off, as well as Superman himself, just really dour, never smiled. And then they did okay with Batman and definitely with Wonder Woman. She stole the show in that movie. Suicide Squad I thought was okay, but that's kind of like a tangent. You're looking at the villain characters. So yeah, it's not a great track record so far, but I think that they just might be about to turn it around. Wonder Woman looks really good. I mean, she was the best part of Batman vs. Superman, and all the trailers for Wonder Woman. For one thing, they've actually got color. They've got color in this movie, which they haven't had. They've turned the color saturation way down for the previous movies. It looks like they're turning it up finally for this one, which I guess that's a little thing, but I don't know, it can make a really big difference. And then the latest trailer had a lot of great action scenes. She looks fantastic. She looks like she just stepped right out of the comic book. We haven't heard a lot of dialogue from her, but I mean, just in terms of like non-vocal acting, from what you see in the trailer, I like it. She's intense. She's focused. It seems really good to me. It's going to be an origin story. I'm wondering if there's going to be like a classic Wonder Woman villain, like maybe Ares popping up. They haven't revealed that in the trailer, if it is going to be there. I'm hoping they do something like that. Like, I don't know, Cersei or something. But we'll see. And then for the Justice League trailers I've seen, they seem to be bringing a lot more humor into it, which is something that the previous DC films were pretty lacking in. The strange thing is like in the trailers, most of the funny lines goes to Batman. I'm glad they're bringing humor into it, but why are you bringing all the funny lines to like the biggest sourpuss in the DC universe? But anyway, he's pulling him off okay in the trailer. Ben Affleck seems to be pulling him off okay. I still buy him as Batman, even with the funny lines. Yeah, I can almost say that, well, maybe it's a change in Batman that's brought about by his experience with Superman, except that Superman in Batman v Superman was just as dour as Batman was. So, yeah, it's kind of like you have to draw on your knowledge of Superman from the comics to kind of make that connection. Wonder Woman, again, looks great. Aquaman looks pretty good. In Aquaman, in previous media, like, say, Super Friends, he had basically no personality at all. In the Justice League cartoon, he was this really tough, no-nonsense, like, stop at nothing to protect his kingdom and his family. I mean, in that cartoon, he cut off his own hand so that he could save himself and his infant son from a death trap, and replaced it with a hook. So, tough guy. And then later on in the Brave and the Bold cartoon, Batman Brave and the Bold, he is a much more jovial. I mean, he loves telling stories of his adventures, and he's happy-go-lucky and all of that. And what I'm seeing from Jason Momoa in the Justice League trailers is I think they're kind of trying to cross that Justice League with the Brave and the Bold one, and I think it's working. It's kind of like he's kind of like the tough, like, well, sort of no nonsense, but at the same time, he's like, you know, he's got this kind of swagger to him, like he's like he doesn't take things too seriously, but he'll kick your butt, you know, that kind of thing. So I've enjoyed that. I'm not sure about Cyborg because the visuals in the trailers, to me, it looks a little too CG. It looks a little fake. So yeah, I'm not sure. Cyborg always was more of a Teen Titan to me than a Justice League member, but well, that's the lineup they're going for. The Flash looks good. He looks a little more nerdy than I would have expected, but you know, it might be a good take on the character. And he's also getting a few of the funny lines, which is good. The Flash has traditionally been a more humorous character. I almost think they should include Plastic Man in the movie. Like they want a character to really bring some comic relief into it. Bring in Plastic Man. Yeah, I mean, the lineup looks good. I saw a glimpse of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon in the latest trailer. Look, you know, we don't get to see much of him, but I'm happy to see it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think they're turning this thing around. The trailers can sometimes look much different from the actual movie, so they could just be making the same mistakes all over again and just fooling us in the trailers, but let's hope not. I'm hoping it turns out well.